Hi y'all, welcome to our YouTube channel. I'm Vincent Morales.
And I'm Brianna Miles Morales.
We want to say thank you for clicking on this video first off. If you enjoy what we got to say and enjoy the vibes, hit the subscribe button, like and share. Today we wanted to talk to you guys about a little something personal. We wanted to talk to you guys about how we manage parenthood coming from single parent households. I was brought up in a single parent household and always aspired to a two-parent household to have for myself, and wanted to talk to you guys about how we go on our day-to-day with our baby Bella. Her name is Bella, for those that don't know. Ari Bella, she's our world. And I think we're doing an amazing job. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I don't know if Bella would say the same. She just woke up. But yeah, I think we're doing an amazing job. Both of us grew up in single parent households, and I will say being the child in that situation was not the easiest. I know for me, I can't speak for Vincent, but for me, my parents got a divorce when I was really young, and that definitely affected how I grew up. And I was with my mom, and my dad lived in Atlanta, Georgia. For the backstory, y'all. So my dad lived in Atlanta, Georgia, where I was born. And after my parents got a divorce, me, my sister, and my mom moved to Memphis. And there she raised us. Now, Memphis was home to both my parents. So her parents, or her mom, was in Memphis, as well as my dad's mom and dad. And so we weren't just moving there with nobody. So we definitely had a village. But just the fact that my mom had to work so hard, and I had to see her work so hard and put in the extra effort to make sure that, honestly, she was both mom and dad, because my dad lived in Atlanta for a period of time. I saw her hustle and bustle, and I just knew growing up I didn't necessarily want that for myself. I want our baby to grow up with mom and dad in the household, and not just mom or not just dad.
And I also wanted to, I'm gonna go into how I came up as well, but I also wanted to go into now knowing how the process is of being a father and mother. You can see how the other part, meaning if I'm the dad, you can see how probably missing the mother side of this process would be so difficult. Mm-hmm. You need both parents for the best and possible upbringing of a child.
Yeah.
The different roles are very important, and I don't think one person can play both. I feel that single parents that do a great job raising their child, that's amazing, mm-hmm. but it's just, if you have both people, it's a lot easier.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can definitely say that that's 1,000% true.
Mm-hmm. A little bit about my story. My mother, she had me when she was really young, and my father, he was a couple years older than her. They really didn't stay together long. I was born in the Dominican Republic, and my mother moved when I was 2 years old, and I moved back and forth from different family members until I was about 9 years old. And then from 9 years old through school, what have you, I lived with my mother. I definitely felt the different things that other people probably felt, missing that father and that father figure in the household. So it was something that I definitely feel that everybody should have in their life, either a father figure or maybe mentor. But that masculine energy is definitely needed in both man and woman.
So just for clarification purposes, you didn't move, your mom moved here when you were 2, but you didn't move with her.
No.
Yeah, so.
Just for legal reasons.
Yeah. So his situation was definitely a lot different, I can say, because for a period of time, he wasn't with his mom or dad, right? Did you stay with him when you were young, when you stayed in the DR?
No, I didn't. I never lived with my dad. Except for a summer. I lived with my dad for a summer.
Oh, okay. So
later in life.
Yeah.
Not later in life, when I was after high school.
Right. But do you think that the fact that you didn't live with your mom or dad affects how you view parenthood, or I don't know. Do you think it affects how you view parenthood?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think besides the motherly and the fatherly love, you know, you learn your boundaries and like how to carry yourself from both parents. And I think life would have been a little bit easier for me if I would have had both. But I knew that if I wasn't going to receive that I was going to provide it one day, God willing.
Yeah.
You know, even though we didn't have that, like I mentioned earlier, I think we're doing a great job. You know, there's always room for improvement. Like we're always trying to learn, and I think a lot of like our like skills are being are coming from your mother. Like I feel like all the things that your mom has taught you and you learned, because she's guided us a little bit with Bella. But overall, I just think that I can't imagine being a single father. Well, I saw my mom being a single mother and like her struggles. I could imagine like what, like now that I'm a parent, like what being a single parent would be. Just probably so much.
Not saying I couldn't, but I definitely don't want to be a single mother, because that's just gonna put more pressure on me. Like right now, I feel like we live pretty comfortable. I do not go to a 9 to 5 every day. Like I still work, but I don't do the 9 to 5 thing. And if I were in that role as a single mother, I know I would have to get up every single day, probably take the baby to daycare or something like that, because my family does not live here. And then even though like Vincent's family is like an hour away, they don't live like close at all. So that would be a trek if we were to drop them off there, single mother or single father or whatever, and have to go to work and just make shit happen. So I don't want to be in that role. But I think seeing my mom in that role has kind of molded me into the person I am today, because I saw her having to hustle and bustle and struggle. And I think, you know, leaving high school, going to college and things like that molded me into the person I am today, because I was able to get out there and hustle and all that kind of stuff. But I also knew I didn't want to have a baby, and I didn't want to be a mother until I had that person who I felt like I could lean on when it came to parenthood and having a child and I wanted to be married, like all those things. I wanted that to be set up for me before I had a baby, because I saw my mom struggle. So I don't know, I just feel like I was able to kind of grow up throughout my 20s. I got pregnant when I was 29. That was the end of it. So all throughout my 20s, I grew up. I was able to work, hustle, and basically set myself up. Like, not saying set our family up, because as y'all know, we got married at first sight. So it wasn't like I'm trying to set up my family because I didn't have that before, but trying to set myself up to make sure that I myself was good. And then when I found my partner, hopefully he would be the exact same way, which he is. And so like we were able to like just combine everything that all the effort we put forward, and you know, have a baby and be comfortable. So I think my mom's struggle definitely helped me.
Right. And when we say struggle, I mean, it's not just financial. It does play a part, but taking care of a baby, it needs a village, minimal, at least a team of 2. Because the physical and mental strain from caring for a child is crazy. So I think there's always room for improvement, especially from my side. Brianna definitely, she does a really good job. And I think both parents need to step up and try to help to care for the child. Like for example, the baby gets up really early in the morning. Whoever gets up and takes care of the baby, kind of gets the day started, and then the other person can pick up after that. And just the chores, making sure the baby is good, but also caring for the home, like making sure the dishes are washed and cleaning and things like that. That bit of help can be so much. Even if, for example, you got somebody that's working all the time, if that person tries to step in and try to help with the upkeep of the home and the baby, that could make a world of a difference for the mom. Just the overall, hey, grab the baby, let me go run some errands, or hey, I'm really tired, can you just grab the baby and just let me rest for a little bit. That right there, having that available, just makes, again, a world of a difference for someone.
Yeah, I think that's true. But also, I think that what a lot of people have to realize is, which me and Vincent have talked about this before, a lot of men think that, oh, I'm going to help my significant other, I'm going to help the woman or whatever with the baby. When in all actuality, it shouldn't be I'm going to help whoever with the baby. It's I'm going to take care of my child. So that's a mindset thing. And honestly, I think social media not necessarily just social media, I think gender roles has a lot to do with that, right? So people just think that, oh, the woman bears the child and takes care of the child, and the man goes out for work. Well, then you're leaving all of that mental, physical load on the woman when we don't think that it should be like that. We've had that conversation. So Vincent was like, yeah, at first he did think, it's ingrained in us, the woman takes care of the baby. You had the baby, you take care of the baby. But he had to change his mindset and say, okay, I'm not helping Brianna with the baby, I'm taking care of my child. So for instance, today, Bella got up at 5 a.m. And honestly, I'm the one, I get up with her early in the morning because I'm kind of a morning person. And so I wake up with her early in the morning, and sometimes I go sit her in the bed with Vincent while I put some clothes in the dryer or whatever, or in the washing machine or something. But sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just come downstairs and start getting the day started. And today when he woke up, I had already been up for almost 5 hours because she woke up super early. So when she woke up, I handed her right to him, and he knew okay, well, did she eat? Did she have a diaper change? What does she need? Whatever. And I went upstairs and I took me an hour and a half nap. I stayed upstairs for 2 hours, but it was because he knew that I had been up. So I had been up and he slept in, and so now it was my turn to try to get some rest. So it's kind of a teamwork thing, and it's definitely it has a lot to do with your mental and knowing that this is our child and we're taking care of our child, not necessarily, yes, this is our child, but I'm going to work, I'm doing this, and she taking care of the baby. I think there's a disconnect when it comes to that, and also there's a disconnect because of what we saw growing up. And we just don't want to be that, because then the child would see more of me and less of daddy. And we don't want that. I think the ultimate goal is for Bella to be a daddy's girl. I don't know. I just think it's something so cute about being a daddy's girl, and it's something powerful in knowing that you can always lean on your parents, but as a woman, grown up to be a woman, knowing that you can lean on your father for a lot of what goes on in life. And I think starting that foundation early on as a baby is vital.
I think I was more willing to learn how to change her diaper and stuff like that, just because I grew up around mostly women. Not that I knew how to change a diaper and all that, but I didn't have no problem changing diapers. And I know I've heard of men that have come across situations where like looked at weird or what have you if they do change their baby's diaper, which that to me is appalling.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I can actually like I've learned so much, and I'm learning from her, obviously. I can pretty much have the baby the entire day. Like I know how to change her diaper. I know how to like give her a bath. I'm still like learning to get that going better. But I can give her a bath. I can wipe her down. I can get her ready for bed. I know how to feed her.
Yeah. He knows like
I can care for the baby for the whole day.
Yeah, the routine of how to take care of her. I think the only difference is because I do have her more, and that's because he works, right? So I have her more, and I just know when she wants certain things. Like I know when she's tired, I know when she's hungry, I know the different cries, I know, you know, when she's just irritated or frustrated or whatever the case may be. Like I know her tics. But he's learning those things, and I think that that is something that's very important for either parent, right? So like on the days, I can honestly say I'm just now kind of getting comfortable with like leaving you with Bella for a long period of time because, you know, I just felt like because I knew I can do it. But that mental load is something for sure. So I had to learn to just let go and trust him with the baby. But now he's learning those things. He knows when she's hungry. He knows when she's tired. Like earlier, he was like, "Do you think she needs a nap?" And you know, he's learning those things. So that's something that's important for our relationship, but two, for his relationship with Bella.
Yeah, and taking care of a baby, it's 24 hours.
Yeah.
It's 24 hours. Because while they're sleeping, you still got to check up on them. Like right now, we got her on the camera. So the baby's under surveillance 24 hours. So I think my message to men out there is that it's so tough on women, especially birth. You know, from the day the baby gets, the 9 months is a process of its own. The men that are in the middle of waiting for their wife to give birth, you're gonna be so freaking tired. So just take how tired you are and multiply it times 10. That's how your wife is feeling. So the extreme tiredness, exhaustion is insane. So step up and try to help as best as you can. Be open-minded and try to learn, because it's far beyond what you could imagine as like the difficulty of taking care of a child.
And even if you don't know what to do, like for us, we've run into this, like where you don't necessarily know what to do in certain situations, and so you kind of feel helpless. But as a woman, you have to be willing and able to like let your partner know, hey, this is what I need. This is what the baby needs. This is what needs to happen, kind of thing. It's like you have to kind of take charge in those situations to help to teach your significant other like how to help you, because if not, they don't know. Like they don't necessarily know what we need. I can 1000% remember when Bella was first born. Vincent would get up in the middle of the night, but he would more so like get up because we were up. So it was like Bella would cry and he would wake up and sit up and be like, "Are y'all okay?" And I would say, "Yes. Yeah, I'm okay." But y'all, I was tired. I was waking up every 2 hours. I was getting up, change her diaper, feed her,
I don't know how we did
try to put her back to sleep. And Vincent would like wake up and say, "Are you okay?" And my answer would always be yes. When in all actuality, no, I was not okay. And so as a woman, I had to realize like, no, I needed to verbalize, "Hey, no, I'm not okay." Or when Bella woke up, "Can you go change her diaper?" And I was breastfeeding, so he would have to give the baby to me. But if I had a bottle, "Can you just go heat up a bottle? Can you go change her diaper? Can you make sure she's good?" He would hand her to me at sometimes well, he would change her diaper, hand her to me, I would breastfeed her, and then he would go back into our little sunroom that we have and like rock her to sleep.
And that was so hard.
Yeah, it was. But at that point,
she would not stop crying.
No, she wouldn't. But we had to kind of teach her, like, he's your safe space too, though, because like with me, she would breastfeed to sleep and I'd be able to lay her down. But I was so exhausted because I was always up, 24/7. I was up and I was tired, y'all. So like, we had to kind of come to a point where it was like, no, I need to give Vincent the reins. Like, yes, he would wake up, change the diaper, give her to me to breastfeed, but I can give her back and he can rock her to sleep. So if we wouldn't have done that, it would have been 1,000 times worse for me and worse for us, I'm sure, because I would have had some resentment towards him for not getting up to help me at night. So as a woman, you just have to make sure you can kind of give them the reins just when you're comfortable, or but don't wait until the last minute, because then you start to resent your partner, and that's not right.
And another thing to bring up is like, I know there's probably other people out there in the same situation where they both grew up, whether it's one person or both, that grew up in a single parent household. Once you meet your baby, you're gonna do whatever it takes to make sure that they're good. So I think just like our human instinct have played a huge part in our roles, taking care of our baby, but just that want to care for your child, because you immediately fall in love. When we first laid eyes on her, we had happy tears. You're so full of joy once you meet your child. Now the challenge is once you come home and you gotta be up 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning taking care of the child, and they're still trying to work and care for the household. It can be challenging, but I think you just have to want to get better at being a parent. It's just having the desire to give your child a great life, which, that's our ultimate goal. One thing that says a lot about like us is like we've traveled a lot, and every single time we've traveled with Bella. So
hell yeah.
Even on vacation, she's right next to us. So,
which I think is a good thing, though. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like
events, everything. She's been everywhere with us.
Yeah, like what events have we done?
Essence
Fest. You're right. Mm-hmm. We went to Clearwater Beach, Florida. We went to Memphis, Clearwater, Houston.
We went to Nashville, I think.
Nashville.
Houston. You said Houston?
I did.
Los
New
Angeles.
Orleans. Oh, LA. And back to Memphis. I think the seven trips we've taken.
In 1 month.
No, well, yes.
I think it was.
We took like 4.
Maybe
in 1
4
month.
or 5 in 1 month. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think we took 4 in 1 month.
And we were traveling with a baby. It was like, oh jeez, it was insane.
Yeah, but it was memorable for us though, and like it was a lot of fun, because I feel like when you travel with the child, you come back and the child is a completely different baby. Like, yes. We've talked about that. So like when we took her to Houston, and we brought her back, it felt like she was like 10 pounds heavier. Like, she was bigger. We put her in like her walker,
and she's doing
whatever.
new things.
Yeah.
And then like you were just saying, her walker, like before we had left, she was like tiptoeing around with the walker. We come back, she's flat on the ground.
Feet flat on, and she's moving in her walker. So it was like every single trip, I feel like, and we've come back here, that has happened. So I don't know. I just feel like we're making memories with her.
Yeah. And
that's been awesome to be able to do.
And it does get easier. I'd say like when she hit 7 months, she's been so funny to be around and a joy. She has her own like little like, I don't know, what would you say, like her own like personality that pops, and she's funny. Like she's always like doing something that's making us crack up.
She has an attitude.
Oh yeah.
Like, I was like, is this your daddy's attitude or your mom? No. It's I think it's a mixture right now from what I'm seeing, because she's stubborn like him, but the attitude be on 10 like me. But you know, she's coming into her own, and that's awesome to be able to witness. So I think at the beginning of this, did you say? No, I don't think he said this, but he said it. He has said it many times, but he does not see how like a parent, like you can birth a child and just be willing to leave. Like you don't want to see that baby grow up. You don't find joy in that child. You know, like he always says that. He's like, I don't see how people just abandon their children. I just don't get it. And that is true. Like I don't see how people do that. And shit, after having Bella, I want more. I'm like, I don't know. I just think it's crazy. I think it's crazy.
Yeah.
I could never abandon my child just because of how like joyous she's made our lives, and how she makes us want to do more things together, like traveling more. The fact that we've traveled 7 times in 7 months. 7 months? No, she was 6 months, right?
She was like 6 months. She was like 6 months.
You're right, and then the last trip she was 7 months. That was just to Memphis though.
So yeah, she was 7 months.
Yeah, she was 7 months the last trip. So we've traveled 7 times in 6 months, and I don't know. I think it's just made us closer. Like we couldn't have imagined that. Now
I want to go on vacation again with Bella.
Me too. I was actually looking at plane tickets today. But something that we haven't really touched on is how our relationship has evolved and changed, you know, just throughout pregnancy and birth, through Bella's birth. On a good note, I'll start with the good, because starting with the good is always great. But like, I feel like we have become a little more in sync when it comes to certain things, like just throughout pregnancy. One, of course, our situation was just crazy. Our situation was very different. During that time, I was working full time. I worked in the field as an engineer or as a project manager in construction. And so, like, I feel like that put the workload plus being pregnant plus having the fibroids as a complication, like, I would always be able to come home and tell him how I'm feeling, and like, just he was a place of comfort for me. So after being at work and being so frustrated and knowing good and well I don't need to be frustrated because I can, you know, piss myself off enough and give birth, like, or be rushed to the hospital or whatever the case may be. Like, I could come home and he was my comfort. And at the same time, like, I had a point in pregnancy where I couldn't even walk. And so the fact that I knew that he was there to, like, help me and assist me was great. And knowing I could lean on him during those times, that was awesome for me. Like, when I couldn't walk to the bathroom, he would have to walk me to the bathroom. When I couldn't walk up the stairs, he would have to walk me up the stairs. Like, if I were doing that alone, I don't know. My mom would have to move in with me or something. I don't want to know what it's like to do it alone. But I feel like our relationship or our bond got better. And then at birth, Bella's birth, like, just to see him light up and to see him, like, willing to learn. The person that you had a child with, you chose right. They weren't running for the hills. They weren't trying to get out of different chores or not trying to help you when the baby came. Like, the fact that I feel like I chose right, that sat well in my soul. We bonded with that. It was hard as it was hard. It was very hard, but we did bond when it came to that. And then also, I feel like we started to travel more. So just because we wanted to show our baby more of the world, and even though she won't remember, we'll have these memories with her. So, like, we started to travel more, we started to do more. We tried to make a point make it a point to get out the house and do things like go into the aquarium. That was something that was like a highlight, which make sure to go look at that video because it was really sweet to me, wanting to get out the house more, because honestly we have become homebodies, and the fact that we have to willingly try to get out of the house with Bella, I feel like that makes our bond a bit stronger.
Yeah, birth, even though it was so tough mentally, physically, it was the best experience of my life.
What about marrying me?
That was okay. No, I'm just kidding. But seeing her and how strong she is was very inspirational. We were so blessed because everything just kind of went right. Now we already have videos about like how we had our child and everything, but I feel like the overall process went well. We both have grown as not only parents but people. I enjoy our like adventures, our times together. One thing that we probably need to do is like try to do more nights out, like do more date nights.
I've seen you grow as a person. You know, like you have become more mature, and I don't know if that's by force because we have a baby, or if it's just the natural evolution of Vincent, you know. But I've seen you become stronger. I feel like I've become stronger. I gave birth to a whole child.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck?
That's another cuss word.
I'm sorry. In my head, I'm like, who does that? But then I remember, like, a lot of people do it. It was just something that was so amazing. The evolution of Brianna. I'm a mommy.
Yeah.
But our relationship has just changed because we have a baby.
Being a parent is the hardest job that anybody could have in this world, but it brings the most joy that you could ever imagine. It's the most fulfilling job you could ever have.
I don't know what she's doing.
But
she's just so cute. I'm about to go get her.
But all in all, like, we just wanted to say, like, even if you come from a background like we come from, like, you can still be an amazing dad and mom. And it just takes effort. It takes being open-minded and just wanting for your child to have the best possible life. And, you know, one thing that I didn't bring up was the fact that my father was not in my life. He had many opportunities to show up, but he did not. And I said, when I could become a dad, I don't want to miss a minute from being next to my child. And that goes back to like the conversation about like how could people walk away from their children. Like once I held Bella, I was like, oh my God. I had a moment. If you guys can remember the Grinch, once like he turned
happiness.
When he turned good, right? And they showed the like picture of his heart, and it was tiny, and then it just like blew up into this big heart. That's how I felt. It was just such a joyous and beautiful moment. And I just don't know how you can walk away from that. Like, I think she brought new meaning to life.
If y'all have any questions or anything that y'all want for us to talk about or touch more on, make sure you drop your questions in the comments. In the comment section, we would love to answer them. And we really appreciate you guys for just sticking with us and being interested in our little fam bam.
Yeah, and then if, you know, for example, we like the questions a lot, we may go ahead and do another video answering those questions.
Wow. I had ponytails up here. I had to take them down, but... Wow. You don't want to talk? Said Daddy kissing you. She did this.
Bella says that if you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, and share. That way, we can grow and grow. It has been a lot of fun, especially filming with this little one right here.
See y'all later.
See ya later. Adios.
Adios.